true genius admits that he or she knows nothing. Do you know who said that? Yeah, it was Einstein. A true genius admits that he or she knows nothing. And if someone as intelligent as he says that, there's a reason. And the reason is because... Who is running up and down? The reason is because if you get into a space within your head where when you start achieving success, you think that you know everything, then you stop growing. If you think that you know everything, you think that, oh, I already know this teaching, I already know this, which starts to happen so often because our mind traps us, you start to get to a place where you become complacent. And when you become complacent, you stop learning. And when you stop learning, you stop growing. And when you stop growing, you lose everything. Because the whole point of life is growth. So many times when people come on the spiritual path, they start off when they need it, when they're in a struggle, when they're going through something in their life, and they come to that space, and it's great because they start by growing loads. But when they start feeling like, oh, okay, I'm all right inside now, I don't need it anymore, I don't need my discipline so much anymore, and they start losing them, they're in trouble. Because it's only a matter of time when they're going to fall again. And if you haven't got your disciplines to save you when you fall, then you're in big, big trouble, because to come up again is so much harder. Because then you've really lost your confidence, because you've gone to the top and then you've fallen. You see that so many times with celebrities. They get there and then they fall. And then they don't know how to pick themselves up again because they're ashamed. They've got guilt. You've got all these other battles that you had to face. Suddenly you're humiliated. You're a bit embarrassed that you've fallen after being at the top. So it's a really, really subtle teaching, but you've got to be really, really cautious. The wise do not lose their disciplines just because life is going okay. So don't lose your yoga just because things are going okay. It's so tempting to do that. You come in when you're struggling, and then you stop doing things which are good for you because you think, I don't need this anymore. It's a trap. So you start falling, and then you stop growing. That's why it's so important. Give you another one. And you know, before I give you that second one, you see my role as a yoga teacher. But when I did that teacher training course, I did it only because I wanted to learn. I see myself as a student. Day in and day out, I still see myself as a student of yoga and of life, and I will forever. That is primarily all I see myself as. This is just a title, but it means nothing to me. The only thing is I see myself as a student all the way through. And I actually teach so I can grow. Because to teach you, I have to know my shit better. Whereas if I just did the course and I read through it once, I didn't really absorb it till I got tested and I had to deliver it in front of other people. So if you want to keep growing, start teaching. Whatever you want to learn, start teaching it. Because suddenly you have to up your game. You guys force me to keep growing and to keep learning, but that's why I teach, so I can keep being a student. It works both ways. Okay, the next quote. If you are humble, nothing will touch you, neither praise or disgrace, because you know what you are. If you are humble, nothing will touch you, neither praise or disgrace, because you know who you are. Do you know who said that one? No one's heard that one before. Mother Teresa. So I'm giving you examples of different people successful in their own way. They're still coming back to the point of how important humility is, the one that we forget about. So what she's saying is, when you know yourself, then you're not ruled by your ego. And when you're not ruled by your ego, then other people's voices and their opinions and their criticisms and their flatteries even, they don't make you go up and down constantly. You're stable within yourself. You know, if you know yourself, then you're not so bothered. When people compliment you, it's nice, you take it humbly, but you don't lift yourself up there. And when people criticize you in the same way, you don't fall all the way down there, because you know who you are and you're not dependent on someone else's validation or their approval or what they've pitched you as in their heads. We learn about gratitude and humility, that so many people had a hand in our success. From teachers who inspired us, to the janitors who kept our school clean. And we were taught to value everyone's contribution and treat everyone with respect. Who said that one? Michelle Obama. Michelle Obama. So she's talking about remembering that no matter what position you've got in life, at the end of the day, we're all children of God. And when you have that, the problem is if you stop seeing that and you think that you're above everyone else, you get to a space where you're very lonely in life. Because you're there and everyone else in your head is down there. But we all need love and connection. And if you want to feel that on a regular basis, you have to see everyone as the same. That's how you get love and connection. You pitch yourself there, then no one else is accessible to you. But if you see everyone as the same, your heart is open, then love is yours again. And just one more for now. The world tells us to seek success, power, and money. God tells us to seek humility, service, and love. Any ideas? No? Lots of new quotes for you today. Pope Francis. God tells us to seek the world tells us to seek success, power, and money. God tells us to seek humility, service, and love. Because while we're chasing those other things in the world, we're constantly attached to our egos. And then we see ourselves in pain and we suffer a lot more because everything is about me. Everything is about what I'm doing, what I'm getting from the world, what I'm building, my empire, my wealth, my fame, my money, whatever it is, my relationships, my everything. But while you're in that place, you're in a lot of pain because you're always scared of losing it and you're always chasing for more. And when you do lose it, you lose yourself. But when you're in that other space, what happens is it's not about me anymore because your life becomes a service to others. And when your life becomes a service, your ego starts to fade away. And it's about the other person. And one of the greatest ways to heal your pain is to focus on someone else's pain, which is the same as yours, and go and heal theirs. Because God looks after those who look after others. So this one is about getting outside of yourself and starting to see a bigger picture of life out there. And then, because everything is a service to God, everything becomes easier. And there's less attachment. And everything comes from that pure space that you were talking about. And it's not something, obviously, any of us can achieve overnight because we've all got an ego, we've all got a soul. But the more we try to tune into our soul's wisdom, the more we get to that space where love flows through us and it starts being a part of us. And our own life and our own goals and our own dreams, they don't become that important. That's not a bad thing, you know? You can still have your own ambitions, but how do I explain this? It's in a way that you still feel free inside because at the end of the day, you're not so attached to your dreams that they cause you pain. Because everything you're surrendering back to God. So this is a deeper version, but it's about being humble in your whole perspective of why you're here in life and seeing it all as a bit of a game that you're just playing for a little while. That makes sense?